Okay, so today we're going to be looking into something that I find pretty fascinating.
Okay.
And I think it has a lot of potential to change the music industry as we know it.
All right.
So we're going to be taking a deep dive into decentralized record
That's
labels.
cool.
And yeah, so basically it's all about how blockchain technology could completely revolutionize the
Hmm.
music industry and create this kind of more artist-centric model that a
Yeah,
lot of people have been hoping for.
definitely. And I think what's so interesting about this model is that it really could change
Yeah.
how the music industry works from the ground up. Instead of that kind of traditional structure that we're so used to with record labels, this would give artists so much more power in
Yeah.
terms of how they fund, create, distribute, and even market their music.
Yeah.
And it's all without sacrificing their ownership or creative control.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest things, that artists
Absolutely.
really kind of, have had to wrestle with for so long
Yep.
is, this idea that they have to give up so much control to be able to get their music out there.
Exactly.
So this is really interesting because it seems like it kind of flips that whole thing on its head.
Mm-hmm.
So let's break this down a little bit. I feel like we hear a lot about smart contracts these days,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure everyone fully understands how they would work within the music industry. So
Yeah.
how would they actually function in this space?
Okay, so think about it this way. Every agreement in the music creation process,
Okay.
from the artist producers, everyone involved, every single agreement would be laid out in a smart contract.
Oh, wow.
Their roles, payment terms, everything would be automatically executed
Okay.
and transparent.
Yeah.
So
Ah.
you can imagine this could be the end of shady deals and delayed payments for artists.
Right, because everything is
Everything is right there.
it's all in the contract.
It's all on the blockchain, so there's no hiding it.
Yeah, no more excuses.
Exactly.
That's really cool. So it sounds promising, but how about the revenue side of things?
Yeah.
Would artists actually get a fair share in this model?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the biggest benefits here. So each stream, each sale, all that revenue
Right.
is tracked and distributed instantly to everyone who earned it right there on the blockchain.
Okay.
So artists can set their own terms. They can make sure that everyone involved gets their fair share, and they don't have to wait months for those royalty statements.
Right. Yeah, no more relying on the accounting department at the record label.
Exactly. It's all visible. It's all verifiable.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting. I can already see how this benefits the artists.
Right.
But what's in it for the fans?
So this is where it gets really interesting for you guys.
Okay.
Imagine owning a piece of your favorite band's new album,
Okay.
not just a copy of it.
Okay.
We're talking fractional ownership of songs or even the entire album through NFTs.
Oh, wow.
It's like becoming a micro-investor in the music you love.
So I would actually own a piece of the rights to the music.
You got a piece of the pie.
That's a really cool concept. I'm already thinking about, what limited edition version I would want to invest in.
Right.
But would owning a small piece limit what I could actually do with it?
Not at all. These NFTs can go beyond just mere ownership.
Okay.
They can be linked to royalty sharing agreements.
Oh, wow.
So you would actually earn a portion of the future revenue from that song or album.
So if that song I own a piece of blows up and it gets used in a movie or something like that,
Yeah.
I get a cut.
You get a cut. You're part of the success.
Now that's what I call supporting your favorite artists.
There you go.
That's awesome. So it's like crowdfunding on a whole new level, right?
Exactly.
But instead of just donating, you're actually buying in and becoming part of the journey.
Yeah, it's about a much deeper connection between artists and fans. Think about it. Exclusive behind-the-scenes content, early access to releases, maybe even profit sharing
Wow.
for
Yeah.
merchandise or tours.
That's incredible. I've also heard about fan tokens. How are those different from NFTs?
Yeah.
Would they give fans actual decision-making power?
You got fan tokens can actually give fans voting rights over certain creative decisions.
Oh, wow.
Imagine having a say in which single gets released next, what the album art looks like,
Wow.
or even who the artist collaborates with.
That's a huge step towards empowering fans.
Yeah, it really is.
But could
I mean,
this also lead to situations where the fans' preferences clash with the artist's vision?
that is a really important question to consider, and it's one that we're going to have to figure out as
Right,
this
yeah.
technology develops.
Yeah.
But I think it opens the door for a much more collaborative relationship between artists and their fans.
Yeah, and it would definitely change the dynamics
For sure.
in a lot of ways. And speaking of collaboration, how would marketing and promotion even work in this decentralized world?
Right.
Would we even need record label marketing teams anymore?
That's a great question. So imagine a network of passionate fans
Okay.
all working together, almost like a street team,
Hmm.
but online and way more organized, all promoting an artist's music and earning rewards for their efforts.
So it's like incentivized word of mouth marketing,
Exactly.
but with actual benefits for the fans who are involved.
Exactly. It could
Hmm.
be tokens, it could be royalties, even access to exclusive experiences.
Wow.
It's a win-win for both artists and their supporters.
That's awesome. I've also heard about these things called DAOs, Decentralized Autonomous Organizations.
Yes.
Could you explain a little bit more about what those are and how they might fit into this model?
Yeah, so DAOs are basically organizations that are run by a set of rules encoded on the blockchain.
Okay.
So they're not controlled by any single person or entity.
Okay.
And in the context of marketing, a DAO could actually manage marketing budgets
Wow.
based on community votes.
That's really interesting.
So you could have fans directly influencing how an artist's music is promoted.
Wow. So the record labels might have to adapt if they want to stay relevant in this new landscape.
They certainly would. This model is really about tapping into the enthusiasm and the knowledge
Yeah.
of the fan base, which a lot of people think could be way more effective than traditional marketing campaigns.
That's a really good point.
Hmm.
All right, so we've got these transparent contracts, fan-powered funding, and community-driven marketing. But how would a decentralized record label actually be structured and governed?
Okay, so that's where these artist DAOs come in.
Okay.
Imagine a structure where both artists and fans have a say in the decision-making process.
Oh, wow.
Artists could propose ideas, fans could vote on those ideas, and everything would be transparently documented
Wow.
on the blockchain.
So can you give me like a specific scenario so I can really picture this?
Sure, imagine you're a fan of a band,
Okay.
and they're considering a collaboration with another artist.
Okay.
Through the artist DAO, you as a fan could actually have a chance to vote on who they collaborate with, or even suggest potential collaborators.
Oh, wow.
It's about bringing the fans into the fold and giving them a real voice in the creative direction.
That's pretty amazing. So it's kind of like a music co-op in a way,
Yeah,
where the fans are just as important as the artists.
exactly. And it goes beyond individual artists.
Okay.
This DAO could decide which new artists to sign, what genres to focus on, or how to allocate resources
Wow.
for community projects.
That's really cool. I'm starting to see the big picture here.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, how would this actually work in practice?
Right.
Could you walk me through like the life cycle of an album in this decentralized world?
Absolutely. So let's say an artist has an idea for their next album.
Okay.
The first step would be to tokenize this promise
Okay.
by creating a token that represents the future album,
Okay.
essentially a digital contract
Oh, cool.
between the artist and their fans.
So this token is like an early investment in the album, even before a single note is recorded.
You got it.
That's really cool.
So fans can invest in the token, and they'll receive exclusive perks in return.
Okay.
Things like early access to demos, behind-the-scenes content, or voting rights on creative decisions.
Oh, wow.
It incentivizes fans to get involved early and support the artist from the ground up.
That's awesome. And then how does the artist actually receive the funds to create the album?
So that's where smart contracts come in again.
Okay.
As the album progresses, the smart contract can release funds in stages.
Oh, wow.
Each milestone, like finishing a track or completing the artwork, triggers a payment to the artist.
Okay.
So it keeps them motivated and ensures transparency for the fans.
So it's like a built-in accountability system?
It is. It's very cool.
That's awesome. And what happens when the album is finally finished?
So this is where it gets even more exciting for those early supporters.
Okay.
They could receive a limited edition version of the album NFT or early access to stream it
Oh, cool.
on a decentralized music platform.
Awesome.
It's all about rewarding those who believed in the project from the start.
That's really cool. All right, so the album is out. Fans are loving it.
Yep.
But how does the money flow in this system?
Right.
Where do the royalties go?
Okay, so this is where the magic of blockchain really shines. Every stream, every purchase is tracked on the blockchain.
Okay.
And remember that smart contract that was set up at the very beginning?
Right.
It kicks in and automatically distributes the revenue to everyone involved.
So the artists, producers, and even fans who hold the album token, everyone gets their fair share.
Everyone gets their fair share, and they get it in real time.
Wow.
No more waiting for royalty checks or dealing with complicated accounting.
That's incredible.
Hmm.
This all sounds amazing for independent artists and smaller labels.
Yeah,
But what about the big players like Spotify and Apple Music?
right.
Would they still have a place in this decentralized world?
That's a question a lot of people are asking, and it remains to be seen.
Yeah.
While those platforms are deeply ingrained in how we consume music right now,
Right.
this new model poses a serious challenge to their dominance.
Okay.
But the good news is that smart contracts could potentially track and distribute revenue
Right.
from those centralized platforms as well.
Oh.
So even if the music is streamed on Spotify, artists and fans could still get their fair share.
That's really cool. So even if the artist chooses to release their music on Spotify, they can still use blockchain technology to maintain control and transparency.
Exactly. It's about giving artists the flexibility to utilize existing platforms
Right.
while also taking advantage of the benefits of decentralization.
That's really cool. This all sounds really promising, but are there any artists who are already doing this?
Yeah.
Is it just a futuristic concept, or is it actually happening?
You'd be surprised there are already artists and platforms out there putting this model into practice.
Really?
Yeah, we're going to dive into some real-world examples in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, cool.
You'll see how these concepts are already becoming a reality.
Awesome. That's what I'm talking about. Real-world examples will definitely make this whole thing
Yeah.
easier to grasp. I'm excited to hear about it.
It's going to be good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll be back soon to explore how these decentralized record labels are taking shape in the real world.
Sounds good.
All right. So we're back, and I'm really curious to hear about these real-world examples of decentralized record labels.
For sure.
You mentioned that there are platforms and artists already using this model.
Mm-hmm.
So give me the details.
Okay, so let's start with Audius.
Okay.
Have you heard of Audius?
I've heard of it, but I don't really know a lot about it.
Okay, so Audius is a decentralized music streaming platform
Okay.
that's built on blockchain technology.
Okay.
Think of it as kind of like a Spotify alternative,
Okay.
where artists can upload their music directly
Mm-hmm.
and connect with fans, but without the middleman.
So how does Audius actually work? What makes it different from the streaming platforms we're already used to?
So for starters, artists on Audius retain full ownership of their music.
Okay.
And they have the power to set their own streaming rates.
Wow.
And because it's decentralized, there's no central authority controlling what gets heard or how that revenue gets distributed.
So more control for the artists and potentially better deals for the fans.
Exactly.
That's awesome. And it gets better.
It does get better.
Audius uses its own cryptocurrency,
Yes.
Audio,
That's right.
which means both artists and fans can earn rewards
Yes.
just for being active on the platform.
Exactly.
Hold on, rewards just for listening to music. Tell me more.
I know, right? So it's all about incentivizing both the creators and the listeners.
Okay.
Artists can earn tokens for things like uploading music, engaging with fans, curating playlists. Fans can earn tokens for listening, sharing music,
Wow.
just being a part of the community.
So it's like a loyalty program.
Yeah.
But you actually own something with real value.
Exactly.
I like it.
Yeah.
You mentioned other examples.
Yeah.
What else is out there?
Okay, so another exciting platform is Royal,
Okay.
and they're focusing on fractional ownership of music rights
Okay.
through NFTs. Remember how we were talking about owning a piece of a song?
Yeah, that definitely caught my attention. But how would that even work in the real world?
Okay, so with Royal, artists can divide the ownership of their songs
Okay.
into limited edition NFTs.
Okay.
And when fans buy these NFTs, they actually own a piece of the rights to that song,
Wow.
not just a copy of it.
So hypothetically, if a song I partially own gets used in a commercial or a movie or something like that, I get a share of the licensing fees.
That's the idea. You become a micro-investor in that song.
That's wild.
It is pretty cool.
So it lets fans directly benefit from the success of music they love.
Exactly.
And for artists, it's just a whole new way to raise capital,
That's
connect with the most dedicated fans, and just build a community around their music.
For sure.
It almost feels like fans could become micro record labels, supporting the artists they believe in.
It really does change the dynamic.
That's really interesting. What about artists who aren't already established?
Right.
How does this model work for them?
That's a great question. So platforms like Catalog are emerging to help new artists release their music as NFTs.
Okay.
So they can kind of bypass those traditional gatekeepers and build a direct relationship with their fans from the start.
So even without a record deal?
Even without a record deal.
They can control their music and their destiny.
Exactly. They have all the power.
How does that actually work with Catalog?
So Catalog lets artists sell limited edition NFTs of their music directly to their fans.
Okay.
Each NFT is a unique piece of digital art.
Okay.
And whoever buys it owns the rights to that specific copy of the song.
So it's like owning a rare vinyl record,
Yeah.
but in the digital world.
Exactly.
What's in it for the fans, though? Why buy an NFT instead of just streaming it?
Right. So because each NFT is unique and can be verified on the blockchain,
Okay.
they become collectible.
Oh, okay.
Think of it as owning a piece of music history.
Okay.
For the artists, it's a new way to generate revenue
Right.
and connect with their most passionate supporters.
Awesome. These are some pretty impressive examples. But are there any, like, big-name artists who are actually embracing this model?
Definitely. So Kings of Leon
Yeah.
was one of the first major bands to release an entire album as an NFT.
Really? That's a bold move.
It was a big deal.
For a band that's already successful.
Right.
What did they do?
They released 3 tiers of NFTs
Okay.
for their album When You See Yourself.
Okay.
Some came with exclusive artwork bonus tracks,
Wow.
even lifetime concert tickets.
That's a pretty sweet deal for fans.
It was a really big deal.
It sounds like they were using NFTs to kind of offer a more immersive experience.
Yeah.
Not just the music itself.
Exactly. They were trying to build a deeper connection with their fan base
Okay.
and explore these new ways to monetize their work.
Mm-hmm. And they're not alone.
They're not alone.
Other big names like Grimes and Snoop Dogg are also experimenting with NFTs and decentralized platforms.
For sure.
I've heard about Grimes selling digital art and music as NFTs.
Yeah.
But Snoop Dogg, what's he doing in the metaverse?
Snoop Dogg is all over the metaverse.
Okay.
He created his own metaverse experience called Snoopverse,
Wow.
where fans can buy virtual land, hang out with him virtually, and even attend virtual concerts.
It seems like the lines are blurring between music art and technology.
You really are. It's becoming harder and harder to define where one ends and the other begins.
Yeah, and that's what's so exciting about this whole decentralized movement.
Absolutely.
It's opening up all these new creative avenues and changing how we think about music and its potential.
For sure.
So it's not just about the technology.
Right.
It's about a complete shift in the relationship between artists and fans.
100% in this decentralized world.
Yeah.
Fans become active participants, even investors and co-creators.
That's a pretty amazing evolution.
It really is.
But as with anything new, there must be some challenges.
Of course.
What obstacles do you see for these decentralized record labels?
Okay, so one of the biggest challenges is simply getting people to understand and embrace this technology.
Right, because for a lot of people, blockchain is still kind of a mystery.
It's a mystery. It's intimidating.
Yeah.
And so I think we need to overcome that by making the user experience really simple and intuitive.
Right.
We need platforms and tools that are easy for anyone to use.
Yeah.
Even if they're not tech savvy.
That makes sense. So accessibility is key.
Absolutely.
But can blockchain technology even handle the huge volume of transactions that a global music industry generates?
That's another big challenge, scalability.
Yeah.
But the good news is developers are constantly working on solutions to improve blockchain efficiency.
Okay.
They're creating ways to handle millions of users and transactions without sacrificing speed or affordability.
So the technology itself is evolving.
It is.
To keep pace with the changing demands.
Exactly.
What about the legal and regulatory landscape? Are there any challenges there?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we're in uncharted territory here.
Right.
And policymakers are still trying to figure out how to regulate cryptocurrency and NFTs. So we need clear guidelines to ensure fairness, transparency, and protection for both artists and fans.
So it's a bit like the Wild West out there right now.
It kind of is, but for music.
But for music, exactly. What can we do to navigate these legal uncertainties?
I think education is key.
Okay.
We need to educate both the public and policymakers about how this technology works and its potential benefits.
So we can create a more informed and supportive regulatory environment?
Exactly.
It sounds like there's work to be done.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of progress happening.
Oh, absolutely.
What do you think the future holds for this decentralized music revolution?
I think we're on the verge of a really radical transformation of the music industry.
Wow.
It's exciting to imagine what the next 5, 10, even 20 years might bring if this model continues to gain momentum.
All right, give me your predictions. What does the future of music look like to you?
I envision a future where artists have more freedom to experiment, to collaborate, to connect with their fans without limitations.
Okay.
This could lead to a surge in new genres and subgenres.
Wow.
pushing the boundaries of creativity and musical expression.
That's a pretty amazing thought. It sounds like a renaissance for musical creativity,
I think so.
fueled by technology and collaboration.
100%.
That's awesome. And it's not just about the artists.
Right.
Imagine fans having more opportunities to discover and support the music they love, becoming true patrons of the art.
Exactly.
They could even own a piece of that music through NFTs,
Yes.
making it more than just entertainment.
Right.
It could be an investment, a collectible, a symbol of their connection to the artist.
It's a whole new level of engagement.
That's really cool. It sounds like music could become a tangible asset,
Yeah.
similar to like a piece of art or real estate.
I think so.
What about new business models? Can you imagine anything truly innovative emerging from this?
It's hard to say for sure, but that's the beauty of disruption. As this ecosystem evolves, I think we'll see new business models and revenue streams that we haven't even dreamt of yet.
Wow, that's a lot to process.
It is.
But it definitely paints a picture of a very different future for the music industry.
For sure.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's take a quick break and then come back to discuss the implications of all of this for both artists and fans.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're back and ready to kind of wrap things up here.
Okay.
We've talked about the potential of decentralized record labels, the technology behind them, and even some real-world examples.
Right.
But I want to get into what does this all actually mean for the artists and for us, the fans?
Right. I mean, that's the core of it all, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is about empowering both sides of the music equation.
Right.
For artists, imagine a world where you have complete control over your creative vision, your finances, your relationships with your fans.
Yeah. No more record label execs telling you what kind of music to make or who to collaborate with. It's about artistic freedom, but also about ownership, right?
Absolutely. Ownership of your masters, control over your pricing.
Right.
The ability to decide how and where your music is distributed.
That's huge.
This could really level the playing field, especially for independent artists or those in niche genres who've often struggled to break through in the traditional system.
It would be a huge shift in power dynamics.
Yeah, you really would.
What about the fans? How would this change the way we experience and interact with music?
I think for fans, it's about becoming more than just passive listeners.
Okay.
It's about having a voice, being a part of a community, and investing in the future of music in a tangible way.
Right. And we've already talked about the possibilities of fan tokens and fractional ownership through NFTs. But could you expand a little bit on what that might actually look like in practice?
Sure. So imagine being able to attend exclusive listening parties online.
Okay.
Vote on set lists for upcoming tours.
Wow.
Or even contribute to the creative process of an album.
That would be amazing.
You know, it takes fan engagement to a whole new level.
Yeah, but wouldn't this also create a lot of new challenges?
Of course.
I mean, giving fans that much power could lead to conflicts with the artist's vision or even exploitation?
Those are definitely valid concerns.
Right.
And they highlight the need for thoughtful design and implementation of these models.
Right.
It's about finding the right balance.
Okay.
Ensuring that artists retain control over their creative output.
Yeah.
While also welcoming fan input and participation.
So it's not just about throwing the doors wide open and letting chaos reign.
No, it's got to be structured.
Right. It's about carefully crafting a system that benefits everyone.
100%. And it's important to remember that this is still an evolving landscape.
Yeah.
There will be bumps along the road.
Of course.
And we're going to need to constantly adapt and learn as we go.
But the potential benefits are huge.
They are.
We're talking about a more equitable, transparent, and sustainable music industry for both artists and fans.
That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
And while we're still in the early stages of this decentralized revolution, I really believe it has the power to transform the music landscape for the better.
I'm definitely feeling inspired.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, I want to ask you what excites you most about this vision of a decentralized music industry?
You know, for me, it's the potential for greater diversity in artistic expression.
Okay.
Imagine a world where genre boundaries become fluid.
Right.
Where niche artists can thrive.
Yeah.
And where the music we hear reflects the true breadth of human creativity.
Ah, it's an exciting thought.
Yeah, something worth fighting for.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's about breaking free from the limitations of the old system and embracing a future where music is more accessible,
Absolutely.
more equitable, and ultimately more vibrant.
100%.
I love that.
Right.
And that future is being shaped right now.
It is.
Every artist who embraces this technology,
Yeah.
every fan who engages with it,
Right.
is contributing to this evolution.
We're all a part of it.
So to all of our listeners out there, don't just sit on the sideline.
Yeah. Get involved.
Get involved. Explore these new platforms.
Exactly.
Support the artists who are pioneering this movement.
Yeah.
And be a part of building the future of music.
That's a great takeaway.
Yeah.
This is an invitation to be a part of something truly revolutionary.
I love it. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of decentralized record labels.
For sure.
We hope it sparked your curiosity and given you a glimpse into the exciting possibilities that lie ahead.
I think we did that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure exploring this topic with you.
Likewise.
And to everyone listening, until next time, keep those headphones on your minds open.
Yeah.
And let them